Welcome in to Moving the Chains, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. I'm Kevin Thomas alongside Darrell Hendricks. We've got a great interview today, a very special guest, the new head coach of the Lugoff-Elgin Demons, Leon Boulware. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. We appreciate your time as always. If this is you guys' first time tuning in, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube at Moving Chains, our website, movingchains.com, our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Coach Boulware retired in February. He was the head coach at Lewisville for the past 2 seasons, going 21-4. Prior to that, he coached at Northwestern, Indian Land, Nation Ford, and Lancaster. Coach, let's just start there. What's that transition been like? Obviously having to work out a little bit there at Lewisville once you got hired and kind of getting over now to the Demon program full time.
Yeah, so the transition has been smooth. Obviously, the hardest piece of it is leaving kids behind, especially when you build great relationships. And a lot of things that I do is about relationships. So that's been the hardest piece of it, just knowing that you got some kids behind that you still care about a lot. But other than that, man, the transition here has been great. The kids here responded well. The community's responded. The culture within the building has starting to shift. And then, of course, our coaching staff is doing a great job right now. So everything is going in the direction we needed to go in.
Coach Kevin talked about your impressive resume there, but we also want to hear from you, how you got started in your coaching career. I know you went over this with us when we had you on a couple of years ago, but if you don't mind refreshing how you got started in the coaching business.
Yeah, started out at Castle Heights. I was a middle school coach, but I got my first high school job with Benny McMurray. And I spent 5 years with him over at Lancaster High School, and then was fortunate enough to be with Coach Michael Allen at Nation Ford High School. And spent some time over there with him and learned a lot within that system. And then was offered my first offense coordinator position at Indian Land High School with Horatio Blades. And then spent some time there with him, and then went over to Northwestern High School, where I probably learned within 1 year 10 years worth of football and just things of operation with Paige Wofford. So from there, I just kind of took off and went to Lewisville High School, where got me to where I'm at now.
Coach, looking at your staff now over at Lugoff-Elgin, were you able to retain some guys from the old staff there? Did you bring in some new guys? Kind of how's that mix looking? And do you have any spots you're still trying to hire for?
Yeah. So some big pieces I brought in was Jarvis Littlejohn from Denmark Olar. That was a huge hire for me. So he's leading our defense. He's our defense coordinator. Also our assistant head coach. Then I was able to bring Adam Rice in from North Carolina. He's going to co-coordinate the offense with me. He won 2 state titles up in North Carolina. And I'm go ahead and throw this out. Adam Rice was a hire for me because I seen what he was able to beat Christ Church. So that helped me out with saying, okay, I know how good Christ Church is. So I was able to get that name in. And then, of course, we got a strength coach with Coach Vinny from AC Floor. He's going to help with our receivers. And then I was able to still retain some guys. Bill Bacon's a big name for us. He's going to lead our special teams. But then, we got a lot of guys here that was on staff that are real good coaches as well that we were able to retain and kind of move around the staff a little bit to make sure we had something that's going to be strong and putting out for the kids.
Hey, Coach, we know you like to light up the scoreboard. You like to sling it around the field. Are you going to be bringing that same offensive approach to that Demon program there with Coach Rice's input? And then what's Coach Littlejohn going to have on that defensive side of the ball for you guys?
Offensively, we're going to definitely be slinging around. But we with the offensive line that we have, we're going to be a little bit more ground and pound a little bit with 2 running backs that we feel like can tote and carry the load for us. But like I said, with that offensive line, man, we're gonna definitely be running it. And then of course, Coach Littlejohn is a multiple guy on defense, something that I was familiar with over at Lewisville when I had Coach. I can't think of his name right now. I'm sorry, but I had Coach
Usher.
Coach Usher, yeah, we was together for that long, and I forgot his name. He's gonna kill me. So, but he's a multiple guy as well. Coach Littlejohn is doing a great job with that as well. And then we'll put a lot of emphasis on the special teams as well.
Coach, you mentioned a few names, Paige Wofford and whatnot, that you kind of – another guy who likes to light up the scoreboard a little bit there. Is he a guy that you still kind of lean on for some, just learning throughout your career? Or anybody else you like to kind of look at and pick up things from now as you kind of progress into that head coaching role that you've had now for, I guess, 3 years?
Man, a lot of I talked to Coach Mack a lot, Benjamin Murray a lot. I also reach out to Coach Allen a lot. Zach Lindak over at Catawba Ridge is a guy we actually coached together at Nation Forward High School, so I lean on those guys a lot. I reach out to Coach Wofford here and there when I feel like I need some advice on something, especially when it comes to the offense. He's a guy to reach out to. But those guys I do lean on. I don't think I know it all. And once you get to a point where you feel like you know it all, it's time to hang it up. So I really lean on those guys for advice.
Coach, you mentioned the emphasis on special teams, with your approach here. What are you looking to do? What are you looking to implement there? Because it's kind of a forgotten third phase of the game that's very, very vital.
I can tell you, Bill Bacon's been a head coach, a coordinator, been around the game for a while. And when you have those conversations with him, we're going to find ways to try to steal points, steal opportunities for our guys. So we put a lot of emphasis, and we did that over at Lewisville as well. We put a lot of heavy emphasis on special teams. And a lot of people like to put backups on special teams. I'm putting the best 11 on the field I can. So we really will put a lot of emphasis on special teams here.
Coach, we mentioned you were able to kind of, get hired in February, get, more on campus, I guess, kind of that March area there. Were you able to learn a lot about your team kind of in that spring practice, spring workout time there? And what did you see that you liked maybe out of that Demon group?
Now, I can tell you right now, this is a hard-working group of guys that want to be successful. Our numbers are up. We're sitting about 97 kids right now between JV and varsity. Our kids we've seen a lot in the spring that we feel like we can clean up, and a lot of things that they did well. We were able to record a lot of things as well to kind of do some film sessions just to make sure they understand what we're looking for. So I'm excited, man. These kids they're hungry. They're hungry for success. This community's hungry for a program to win. And so we're looking forward to this fall and seeing what we can bring to the table for them.
All right, so it's time to put you on the spot a little bit. You've been there for a few months. Who are some of those special guys that you maybe identified in the spring and as you transition into your summer program that think are going to make an impact for the program this coming year?
Yeah, Daniel McCaskill and Christian Smith leads the offensive line up front. Those guys are tough. I mean, between the two right now, they're sitting about 7 offers between Division I and Division II offers. You got Taquan Murphy that leads us on the secondary. On defense, you have E.J. Richardson, who you guys will hear his name a lot here. He's a rising sophomore. That kid's special. And then Shamik, he's a receiver, about 6'4", 210 receiver that can go up and play with the best of them. And then we got Jarquise. I can't remember his last name right now, but Jarquise is a running back for us, and that's going to bring a lot of thunder to the table for us, man. So we got a lot of guys. David Miller is going to be a guy for us on defense as well. You got Hinton. Hinton's going to be an outside linebacker for us. So we got a lot of guys a lot of names that people didn't recognize are going to start popping up out of nowhere. These guys they're ready to make a name for themselves, and I think it's going to show up here this fall.
Coach, bringing in kind of a new philosophy and whatnot to that Demon program. Do you have a lot of 7-on-7 stuff scheduled, or maybe even 11-on-11 to kind of really help the guys understand what you're wanting out of them, and what do you got set up for the summer for that type of stuff?
Yeah, so the 11-on-11, you got to have a coach that you can work with and trust. 11-on-11, we're going with Catawba Ridge, and we'll only do one of those. We do a good job of joining up with those. So we'll do one 11-on-11. I think other than that, I have 3 7-on-7s. As much as I like to sling the ball around, I don't do a lot of 7-on-7. Sometimes it can teach a lot of bad habits for your defensive guys, or your quarterbacks have false eyes when you don't have a rush coming at them. So we'll do a lot of just focusing on us here at home and making sure that we getting our guys prepared for the fall. But other than that, I don't do too many of the 7-on-7 and 11-on-11s.
We were talking to you briefly off air before we got started here, and you mentioned you guys are out of school. You had your some summer optional workouts. What are you looking for in this transitional period before you really get into the team stuff and fall camp? What is a point of emphasis you're looking to achieve with your team in this critical moment of the season?
Yeah, right now. So we didn't put this on the schedule for this week. We'll start summer workouts next week, and one of the things I told the coaches, I want to see how many of the kids actually have brought in, and the coaches starting to change. For our optional workout today, we had about 67 kids here. So they starting to realize what it's going to take, and understanding how they're going to get there to be successful. So we did see that. But other than that, man, I just want to see the buy-in, the commitment, the dedication. The other piece of it, we can coach that up, because the talent, like I said earlier, the talent's here. We have a lot of skilled guys. We got the linemen. It's more training that mindset, getting the mindset to go in the right direction. And I think we're starting to move in that direction. I'm going to challenge them mentally. I'm going to challenge them physically as well. But that mental piece of it, if I can get you across the line mentally, then we're going to be able to be successful.
You're going from, a 1A program at Lewisville to now a 5A program at Lugoff-Elgin. How does that kind of dynamic change the way that maybe you coach or even lay out practice? Because you should have, more coaches on staff. You should probably have more players out there. How does that change the way that you maybe structure a practice or things like that throughout the week for your team?
So my structure is not changed because we weren't practicing like a 1A school down at Lewisville. We definitely had the numbers, so that wasn't an issue. But I would say, in terms of as a head coach has changed. I was used to having to do everything myself at a 1A school to now at a 5A school. Man, I have multiple guys that's actually in here working hard, not sitting there having to write down the workouts for the weight room, sitting down with my offense coordinator and defense coordinator talking about the practice plan. Then you got coaches everywhere in terms of making sure all the equipment and stuff is taken care of. So, man, it's a blessing to have the help that everybody wants to put in, but at the same time, it's been an adjustment because at first to come in, I was like, man, I got to get this, and this done, and now you got everybody that's here working with you to make sure you're successful.
Talking about success, Coach, you had immediate success at Lewisville. That program had a solid foundation. You guys did a lot of the right things, and you were able to implement your culture and style, fairly quickly, and it really worked. You're going to a place at Lugoff that's been down for a few years. What is something that you identified that you wanted to, change and really get your culture established there, from the time that you walked through those doors?
Just the excitement, making sure they love the game. Making sure they're excited about it every time we step on the field. And then I like a challenge. When somebody tells me, man, you're going to Lugoff and you're not going to be able to be successful there. Okay, we'll show you. So we like the challenge. We like the doubters. And other than that, man, we're going to show up this fall. So I'm excited about it. I think, like you said, stepping in the door, the biggest thing was getting the energy to where it should be and making sure that the kids are excited. As long as I can get the kids and the players around us excited about what we're doing, everything else is going to fall in place.
Take your financial game to the next level with Founders Federal Credit Union. Reach your full potential. Relax. Join Founders today. Visit an office near you or relaxjoinfounders.com to apply. Federally insured by NCUA, member qualification required.
Coach, got a couple easier ones here before I let you go today. This first one, we've had a wide array of answers lately, I'll put it that way, from some of the coaches we've asked this to, but whether it's, at a home game in your office or maybe on the bus to an away game, what's in that pregame playlist as you're getting ready to take the battle?
Honestly, it may depend on who we're playing. But, I like a lot of different music. But I will say, for one, probably some old school. I'm an old school guy. I like to listen to a lot of slow old school music. The Ozzy Brothers is one. And then depending on who we playing, I may have to play some Lil Jon and Eastside Boys or something.
Oh, come on.
So it really depends on who we playing and how the mood and vibe is at the moment.
Love that. So, Coach, you've been on here before. This question's coming, and you mentioned too that you actually are closer to that Lugoff-Elgin area. What are some restaurants that we should check out if me and Kevin are down there to go to check out? Excuse me, to go watch a game on a Friday night.
Lugoff House of Pizza is one that you have to go check out for sure. Other than that, man, I really haven't been. I've been stuck in the office, so. But Lugoff House of Pizza has it all, man. The pizza, the wings, everything in there is good, really good. And that's what everybody talks about when you first come down.
Coach, I know obviously, you're still kind of getting into it and whatnot, and maybe don't know, too much about the Lugoff program, the history and whatnot, but what have you been told about that Camden rivalry, and how excited are you to kind of get there and mix it up with the Bulldogs here in, I guess, week one it will be this year?
Yeah, week one. I'm excited. I was in the region with Camden when I was at Indiana. So I'm excited about it. They already talking about it here. Want to print shirts out, so I'm super excited about that rivalry. We're looking forward to it, actually. Our guys are excited. I keep reminding them that we got to take care of week 0 first. I don't look ahead of it, but at the same time, we know what's coming, and we know Camden's going to always be prepared. So Coach Remp does a great job over there, so we'll be prepared as well.
All right, so we got 2 goals there, in that one question, to win the opener, obviously, and then knock off your rival there. What are some other goals that you have for the 2024 version of the Demons?
For us to just really be successful at what we do, take care of our non-region first, and then compete well and put ourselves in the position to be successful in our region play and make it to the postseason.
Well, this has been great. I want everyone to go check out Coach Boulware and the Demons program on Facebook and Twitter. They do a great job posting updates about their kids and highlights and whatnot. So definitely go follow them on there. Like I mentioned, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube at Movin Chains, website movinchains.com, our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Moving the Chains brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Jarrell, anything else for Coach? We'll let him go today.
Coach Boulware, number one, before we get into the nice stuff, I see the lid. I'm a fan of hats, so I'm going to need one of those Lugoff hats. So we got to work that out. I'm going to get that on record here. But want to wish you continued success. Know you have a proven track record of winning at a high level, and we know you're going to do that there at that program. And just wish you the best in this offseason as you continue to build that program. And really looking forward to seeing what you guys can put on the field this season.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Coach, we appreciate your time as always. Look forward to stopping by a practice or a game, getting to catch up with you, and best of luck, all right?
Yeah, make sure y'all, Jarrell, we'll have that hat waiting on the sideline for you when we play Camden. They come in here.
Oh, week 1. There you go. You'll put me on the spot, too. I love it.
I love it. Appreciate you, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Get ready for the ultimate South Carolina high school football experience with Movin the Chains. From previews to recaps, we've got you covered. Dive into our expert preview shows, predicting winners and sharing insights. Then join us post-game for the thrilling recaps, exclusive interviews, and highlights you won't find anywhere else. Plus, connect with fellow fans on our Friday night spaces on Twitter/X. No one covers South Carolina high school football like us. Join us at Movin Chains on all social media platforms and visit movinchains.com today.